Karibu sana, Ambassador. Welcome, our chief guest, Ambassador Shidiye.
Usman, you really steered this event very well and entertained us also. So I thank you. So without much ado, I would like to recognize Weshimiwa hapa, starting with Weshimiwa Mahat, a long-time experienced MCA from Modogashe, Weshimiwa Hadir, my colleague, my friend, my in-law. What can I say? Mheshimiwa Shukran. So yes, we did MBA together. Mheshimiwa Shukran, my colleague in Parliament, good friend, my sister. Mheshimiwa Kiman, who is also aspiring candidate. Mheshimiwa Awale, another aspirant, and also the CEO. Mheshimiwa Ali Sheikh. And of course, to cap it all, our grand Ugas. Here he is our Ugas, but when we're in Garissa, we have the senior most Ugas. But now he's the sitting Ugas. When we go to Garissa, he also becomes now maybe a crown prince, or he has to be lowered down. The flag comes down. And of course, the KBC team, young budding journalists, some beautiful ladies I could see, all from also media personalities, people of Lagdera, people who are here from Misli, and many of you have come here. Assalamu alaikum. Let me first start by saying that today is a great day for me, and not only for me, but for the people of Lagdera and Garissa in general. I say this because when Muscab called me one day out of blues, I normally pick, even people like there know, I pick every call. I have about 30,000 numbers in my phone. I don't hide for people. He called me one of the days and he told me, call Muscab, I have a book. I've written a book and I want your support. Then he told me, well, he needs a support. I asked him what kind of support. He said, he wants to write the book. He needs money for hall, for the media, for entertainment. And he told me that he needs the support. I didn't know him. Saad is just maybe slightly older than my son, my firstborn son. And then I said, okay, let me see what I can do, but let's first meet. So I had to meet him. I took to get him a bit. He gave me the soft copy on my phone, so that I could appreciate what he wrote. So after reading, I said, let's do it. Then we talked whether to do the event in Nairobi or in Garissa. Of course, in Garissa today it will have been a carnival mood, eh? It will have been full to the brim, because that's our village, of course. I had an occasion also of participating in another lunch by another budding writer called Khalid Abdulzaf, and it was a very beautiful event. But in Garissa, people don't have deep pocket, because people will share you. They are not as rich as people in Nairobi. But nonetheless, I believe also we should have another one in Garissa, the same launch. That would be good. But to support Muscab, you know, Americans say there are no free lunch. If today we're here, I hope every one of you, at least on the minimum, buy one book. You have supported it and its cost. That will have been a very good thing for him, and of course for the people of Lagdera. But let me say this again, that Muscab is the first young, even called an old guys for our generation, even the X generation, all the millennial, the forgetting generations, none has written a book. So it's a very historic day that a young budding writer has come up and documented something which is a challenge to us. You know, I did the philosophy, and a subject in philosophy, I did what's called epistemology. What is it means beyond physical world. You know, you must bring the physical world to the spoken word or written word. You know, this hotel is called Aban. If it didn't have a name, what will you describe? So it has to have a name to tag the physical world. And that's why people will not have known Lagdera. But if you read this book, at least it gives you an information. You don't need to travel to Lagdera to know what's going on. And the journey in Lagdera is our journey, be it political, social, economical. It's a long one. Even before independence, we have very few, and schools, the literacy level is very high. So for him, Mus'ab, to come with this book is not only encouraging, but inculcating the culture of writing and reading. For him to come with this book, he must have read a lot. He must have analyzed situation. He must have written and rewritten. He must have made mistakes. For a creative writer, you write, and he writes every day. You get something into your mind, you put it in a book. So you don't worry about later on, the editors, the people who will correct you here and there. But let me say again this, that we have very few Somali writers. Globally speaking, we have Nurdir Farah, the most acclaimed Somali writer. I read his first book, From the Naked Needle. That was his first book. But after that, the badge of writing more books has hit him. Up to this date, he writes. He hops from one city to another, stays in that city or in that country, learn the culture, write a book. So we have very few Somali writers. Of course, I've also even attended one day in Washington, D.C., ambassador, this new ambassador to UAE, our Hussein Halane. He wrote a good anthology and good poetry, which me and some other friends participated. So, indeed, what we see is that Somalis are good culture, poetry, music. But people in northern Kenya, it's a literal desert, let me tell you. Literally. Literature desert. We don't write anything. You go to any Somali restaurant, the biggest menu in Somali restaurant, even it's not the food, it's the noise. It is the noise that we have the best food. Many people like Somali food. But the noise you hear is too much. And all are telling stories. As if those stories were written down, you could have imagined it. Yes. Will have come with very beautiful books. But most of us don't write. If I look at the top 100 writers in Kenya, none is a Somali. Start with Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Meja Mwangi, Grace Ogot, you name it. There is no single Somali who is a good writer there. So, for Mus'ab to write this one is a reawakening and telling us, we Somali, wake up. The first Somalis were basically soldiers, drivers. We graduated from soldiers to drivers to Peter Aziz, traders. Then we joined the other professionals, clericals. We continued. I think the first people to be from Lagdera area was Abdulzak, who joined university. The first person from our community, Engineer Abdulzak, then followed by Dr. Bashir. But today Somalis are completely, we have taken a complete metamorphosis. We have today engineers, doctors, lawyers. I remember we had only 2 lawyers in this town, Muhammad Ibrahim and Ahmed Nasir. Today you have so many Somali lawyers that you don't know them. But in the space of writing, there are very few. So we should emulate, we should inculcate the spirit of writing. Because this is a beautiful thing, to write. It's a beautiful thing. It gives you deep thoughts and appreciate and learn. And you can't finish it. when you read this book, you want to read another one. And it opens your horizon. It makes you a complete human being. It teaches you about the culture. Africa have 7,000 dialects. 7,000 dialects. And about 2,000 tribes. And guess what? We are all just, somebody speaks good English, somebody thinks he's educated. But if I speak good Hausa or a good Somali, the guy is just, he's just, a pedestrian. He knows nothing. But this is a beautiful continent. There are good writers. If you go to America, the best musicians are black. The creative artists are black. The actors are black. The other artists are black. Some of them, they really worship the African, because we have certain ingenuity. That African was asked, what have you contributed to the world? He said, look, the music, the drums, this is what we contributed. And it's an art, it's a culture. It's a good thing. So I like to say that today the carnival mood is a celebration for all of us. We are proud of young Musab. We are proud of what he has done. We are proud of, how he is igniting this young generation, the Z generations. We are proud that because of this, Colonel Hared is saying that he's going to write a book. In Garissa, we have seen the majority leader write a book. We have seen the former chairman of IEBC write a book. We have seen recently that general, the former general of administrative police, I think he is Commander Shidiye. He also wrote a book. So I think people from Garissa now, I can see we're picking up. And everybody wants to emulate the other and maybe beat the other in what the other one has done. So I think today is a good day for us, and I think this will not be the end. We will have more of Musab, more of Khalid, more of our IBC chairman, former IBC chairman, hambalyey, who has written a book. And most of us should write a book before, For me, I would not like to write a book when I'm active in politics. I would like to write a book when I retire, so that I can write, something with a brutal honesty. That time I can write what I want to write. But if you are a practicing politician and you step on the toes of people when you are writing, it's not good. Unless, of course, if you want to write something very simple and something that not very colorful for that matter. So I think we can only assist the Musab if we buy the book, if we help him, if we from today's event, and much more. We want. I can see the PA to the Mheshimiwa. You said he's going to buy 50 books. I think you should tell our Mheshimiwa that this book should be given to all Lagdera schools. All Lagdera schools. We have about maybe 30, 40 schools. If you can give each school maybe 100, so that every student reads the book. That one will also help the student and also help the Musab and help the society. At least that will be very good. In any case, self books, they do composition, they do comprehension, they do many things. It will be a benchmarking for the schools. So I think, and you have the CDM anyway, you can factor in through the bursary as a material for learning. It's an easy thing. Unfortunately, what I saw is that they have increased the bursary allocation. If the finance bill goes through, you'll have a lot of money. So I think it's not a big deal to put aside maybe 500,000 or $1 million for Mus'ab, because the book belongs to the Lagdera. Yeah, it's a piece of cake. That's a piece of cake. So we need your support. I think the Mheshimiwa has to act again. I will also talk to Mheshimiwa Farah. He told me that he's going to support. He's in Mombasa, and today he's flying to Manila. He has other functions. I've talked also to Mheshimiwa Muhammad Abdo. He's also ready to chip in. He said he's going to buy 30 books. Mus'ab, I hope you are ready. Mus'ab is buying 30 books from you. He was supposed to be here today. He sent me an apology. So I think we will do the carnival and the celebration in Garissa when Mus'ab has more money from Nairobi, and then the people at the village also will have time, and we also encourage the young writers in Garissa. There's a city called Dublin. Dublin is a city of literature in the world. And the highest diaspora of people in the world are from Ireland. And there's some connection between the Irish people and the Somalis because of poetry, because of literature, because of deep culture. And most of the leaders in America, the diaspora in America, are from Ireland. And most of them ended up being the kind of leaders you have in America. Majority of the 40 or 50 American presidents America has produced, most of them have Irish background. So there's that connection between the Irish and the Somalis. We're a bit rebellious and very, original and very outgoing. So I think it's important that we Somalis continue to trailblaze, and wherever we go, we carry our culture high, very high. I had an opportunity, one time I went to India. There's a book which I read by a lady called Anurati Roy. Anurati Roy. This lady, if you read her book, she's one of the best writers in India. And she's giving, a lot of trouble to the Indian government, including the Prime Minister. Recently she was arrested. Look for that book. It's one of the best books, and it has the best prose. You read and you find, the originality and, the ideas that she's postulating are out of this world. So I don't want to take my time. I want to like the book and support Mus'ab. And I want to close by thanking him and thank everybody who has come here. We can't take the support you have for our boy. We are celebrating him. I think he's very ambitious. And we need to tell the people of Lagdera, wake up and be like the young generation, be like Mus'ab. I know we have very few secondary school, but that should not distract us. Writing is not really about how much educated you are. It's how much you know and how much you want to read and how much you want to connect with people. So with those many remarks or few remarks, I want to end here. And I say thank you to everybody, including our guests, who has blessed us here by coming. And of course, all the participants, including the beautiful ladies and the guys from KBC and everybody. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a nice evening. I'm here to support and I will give you. Thanks so much.